medieval Baghdad, a quiet revolution was taking shape, one written not with swords, but with ink. Within these walls, scholars dreamed of stars, numbers, medicine, and machines that would change the world forever. What if the modern world you know, hospitals, algorithms, optics, began right here, 12 centuries ago? Between the 8th and 13th centuries, a golden light of learning spread across the Islamic world, from Cordoba in Spain to Samarkand in Central Asia. It was called the Islamic Golden Age. Here, Muslim, Christian, and Jewish scholars worked side by side, translating the knowledge of Greece, Persia, and India into Arabic, and then transforming it. From the deserts of Arabia to the libraries of Andalusia, this era ignited an explosion of innovation that still shapes science and civilization today. But how did a world lit by oil lamps give birth to the mathematics behind computers, or the hospitals behind modern healthcare? It began in 762 CE, when Caliph Al-Zur founded Baghdad, a circular city designed for learning and trade. Later, under Caliph Al-Mamun, the House of Wisdom, or Beit al-Aqwa, became the greatest intellectual center of its time. Here, scholars translated thousands of texts, from Aristotle's logic to Indian numerals, creating a universal library for humanity. In the 9th century, a mathematician named Al-Karibi worked inside these halls. His book Kitab al-Jabr W. al-Qabla introduced algebra, from the Arabic word al-Jabr, meaning restoration. That same word gave birth to the word algorithm, the Latinized form of his name, a concept now at the heart of computing. While Al-Khawarizmi shaped mathematics, Ibn Sina, known in the West as Avicenna, revolutionized medicine. His canon of medicine remained the standard medical textbook in European universities for over 600 years. He described contagious diseases, the use of quarantine, and even the psychological roots of some illnesses, ideas centuries ahead of his time. In Spain, Al-Jari, or Abulcasis, wrote a 30-volume encyclopedia of surgical procedures, complete with detailed illustrations of scalpels, forceps, and bone saws. His writings became the foundation for modern surgical instruments. Lower third, Cordoba, 10th century CE. Meanwhile, in optics, Ibn al-Haytham, Al-Jinn, conducted experiments that proved light travels in straight lines and that vision occurs when light enters the eye, not when the eye emits rays. His book of optics shaped the scientific method itself, influencing Roger Bacon, Kepler, and even Galileo. By the 11th century, Al-Biruni measured the Earth's radius with near-modern accuracy, using shadows and geometry. And Al-Jari, an engineer from Diyarbakir, designed mechanical clocks, automata, and even an early programmable machine, centuries before Leonardo da Vinci. Baghdad wasn't just a city. It was the motherboard of human knowledge. The achievements of this era are not myth. They are documented in manuscripts preserved across the world, from the Escorial Library in Spain to the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul. Al-Khawarizmi's works survive in Latin translations made in the 12th century, studied by European mathematicians like Fibonacci. Ibn Sina's Canon of Medicine was printed in Rome in 1593, one of the first medical books ever produced on a press. Al-Zurawi's surgical encyclopedia was translated into Latin as Liber al-Servius and cited by European surgeons for centuries. The Book of Optics by Ibn al-Haytham was translated into Latin in the 12th century and directly influenced the Renaissance theory of vision. Al-Jari's Book of Knowledge of Ingenious Mechanical Devices remains one of the earliest engineering manuals, preserved in multiple illustrated copies. These are not fragments of lost legends. They are evidence of a civilization that treated knowledge as an act of worship, where scholars quoted both Aristotle and the Quran in the same breath. Yet historians still debate what made this era so fertile for discovery. Some emphasize the Abbasid Caliphate's wealth and patronage, a state that rewarded scholars as it did soldiers. Others point to Islam's early encouragement of learning. The Prophet Muhammad as saying, "Seek knowledge even unto China," echoed in countless minds when the libraries burn or when curiosity fades. The legacy of the Islamic Golden Age is not just in old manuscripts. It lives in our daily lives. Every time a doctor performs surgery, they use tools designed first by Al-Zuri. Every time a computer runs an algorithm, it whispers Al-Khwarizmi's name. When scientists build optical sensors or cameras, they rely on principles discovered by Ibn al-Hikam. Our hospitals, pharmacies, and universities still follow the frameworks established by Muslim scholars who saw no divide between faith and reason. Even our modern world of globalized research echoes the multicultural spirit of Baghdad, where Persians, Arabs, Greeks, Jews, and Christians share the same pursuit, truth. Their greatest achievement was not just invention. It was collaboration. That was not just invention. It was collaboration. Modern historians like George Sarton, Donald Hill, and Jim Ulkey describe the Islamic Golden Age as a scientific bridge, connecting ancient civilizations to modern science. Without it, much of classical knowledge might have vanished. Think of civilization as a chain of light. Greece lit the first flame, Islam preserved and magnified it, and Europe carried it forward. The torch of knowledge passed not through conquest, but through translation and respect. Analogy: if civilization were a computer, the Islamic Golden Age was its operating system, processing, refining, and rebooting human understanding for the modern age. Today, many educators and thinkers call for revival of that spirit, curiosity without borders, faith and reason working hand in hand. Because innovation, they remind us, begins not with technology, but with an open mind. What we know, the Islamic Golden Age gave us algebra, optics, hospitals, and engineering. What we don't, why did such brilliance fade, and can it return? The story of the Golden Age is not just about past glory, it's a meter. It asks every generation, will we use knowledge to divide or to build? Today, a quiet revival is underway. Across the Muslim world and beyond, scholars are retranslating classical Arabic texts into digital archives, ensuring they're accessible to all. New research centers in Qatar, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia fund astronomy, renewable energy, and artificial intelligence, often citing the Golden Age as inspiration. Confidence level high. Documented projects like the Qatar Digital Library and King Abdulaziz City for Science and Technology directly reference this heritage. Confidence level medium. Whether this revival can match the unity and openness of the original era remains to be seen. But one truth endures: knowledge, once shared, never truly dies. 12 centuries ago, in a library by the Tigris, men and women asked questions so bold they changed the shape of thought itself. Their discoveries still pulse through our hospitals, our universities, our machines, and our dreams. Perhaps the Golden Age never ended. Perhaps it's waiting for us to open the books again. To continue this journey, watch our next episode. Al-Khwarizmi, the man who invented algebra.